Okay, today we're going to review the feed mill automation for the Harlan Feed Mill. I'm Lydell Martin, and I'm just going to be going over a couple of things. I personally, just to get you up to speed on what I do feed system design and automation. That is primarily the work that I work at. Just to show you a little bit of what I'm working at, I have a few facilities going in Iowa at this time. So doing everything from complete design to automation. So today let's go through a few things on automating the feed mill at Harlan. Like, how can we justify investing the money to redo the wiring and put electric valves in, put new electric panels in, and automate that facility. Now, I'm sure there's some of these things that you have already thought of yourselves. I just want to go over all the things that I saw when I was on site and reviewed the mill. So, how can we justify the cost? Safety. Safety is first. Accuracy of mixing is second. Time, saving time, being able to mix more feed faster. Records, having records for what for feeds were mixed, inventory that was used, reduced frequency of mistakes, and increased efficiency of operation. Going from one ingredient to the next faster, being more accurate on the mixing will increase the efficiency of the feed mill. So safety, they were talking about updating electrical controls. I do not personally get into the high voltage, so I am not I don't specialize in high voltage. I work with automation. Ty Hofer is going to be better equipped to explain the high voltage end of things, but the way I understand, there are some motor controls and stuff that need to be updated either way, and so that's a safety thing of having all the electrical components up to code, having them all working properly, protecting the motors. So yeah, that's the number one safety thing. Number two is when you reduce labor for running valves equipment manually, you in turn reduce risk of people getting injured, climbing to check bins, climbing to move valves. That all increases chance of somebody getting hurt. So then we will look at accuracy. How is automating it going to be more accurate than somebody who knows what they're doing? Well, automatic ingredient filling into the mixer is very accurate because it remembers the free fall. So when the computer says we reached our limit and shuts off the auger, there will be a little more weight that increases on the scale from when it says shut it off until the weight stops increasing. The software in the automation keeps track of that free fall, remembers the last few times that it filled from that ingredient bin, and it remembers the free fall and gets smarter each time, and in turn gets more and more accurate until after you've used an ingredient 3 times or more, that ingredient will be very, very accurate in the mixing. A very good operator can get close to as accurate as automated, but never quite as good, and it's just, it reduces the need for that one worker that's been there for years, and when he wants to retire, the next guy to take over. It simplifies things. So then we look at time. Faster ingredient adding to mixer, reducing batch time. So when it goes from one ingredient to the next, the timing is precise every time. It's not waiting longer than it should. It is as soon as the scale stabilizes from one ingredient going in, it goes right to dumping the next ingredient in. Another thing with time is less climbing to check ingredient bin levels, because the automation software automatically keeps track of inventory, and with added level switches in the bins, we can also keep track of inventory in the bins. So it's less labor required, which saves time. Records, batching reports from the software that show actual use of each ingredient added. So if there's a question later like, this batch of feed, what happened, you can go back, look at the report, not a manually generated report, but an automated report that shows exactly how many pounds of each ingredient was added to that mix. That way, if there is a problem in the future with a batch of feed, you have records to show exactly what happened. And if something did fail, you can figure out what the problem was and fix that problem. Reports of how much of each ingredient is being used, how much should be in each bin to keep track of inventory with less effort. When you add feed to the bin, you add it to the controls, it keeps track of how many pounds were bought, how many pounds were added to the bin, how many pounds were used. So it keeps your inventory simpler, which saves time on there also. And then we have a reduced chance of mistakes. So your feed recipes can be added to the software by the office. You can have someone in the office that adds the recipes to the computer, so that you have these 10 recipes or 20 recipes that need mixed in one day, and that would be done by the office. That way, as they get orders or planning for what they need on inventory, they would put in the computer, and then the operator out in the mixing room would batch those ingredients, do the hand adds, because the mixer will pause to allow for the hand adds to be added.